Hello, my name is Stefaan. I joined All Things Talk from the very beginning with my own money, and I have been responsible for the commercial side, being sales and marketing. But since the acquisition by the Also Group, you can consider me as an asset, a help for you to reach out to end customers and explain the Also IoT proposition to them. What I will present to you today is an overview of three things. The first one is give you some insight in the Also IoT strategy, because there is a real well thought through strategy that you might suspect with this approach for the Also Group in the IoT world. The second thing is to give you some quick insight in what is an IoT platform and give you some handles to understand the technology behind. And then the third one, which is the most important one, is to give you a thorough introduction in 4 propositions that we have built so that you can go out to your end customers and propose IoT to them and to discover how this will benefit their business. So the first thing is what we call Also Business IoT ecosystem. On the right hand of the slide, you will recognize what is your day-to-day business. You as resellers, you reach out with your products and services to your end customers, your end users. And at the left is the great unknown for you until now, I guess, which has to do with IoT, the Internet of Things. And there are 3 primary technologies involved in IoT, which you see here represented on the left side of the slide, which is the connectivity, because connectivity is a big subject in IoT. Data collected by the devices, which is the second element, need to be transferred and need to be transferred using networks. And then, of course, there is the great value driver of IoT, which is the application, because the application is what will be the showcase and the real value of this Internet of Things. And in the middle, you have what we call the Also IoT platform. And that Also IoT platform, I will go into it a little bit more in the next slide, is really bridging the physical world of networks and devices with the logical world of applications. Now, what is an IoT platform? An IoT platform is mainly built around this physical world of new sensors, things that gather and measure interesting data. And these data are sent over networks. And these networks can be very different networks. It can be local area networks, gateway networks, as well as mobile and fixed networks that we all know and use already on a day-to-day basis. And on top of that, we have built what is this IoT platform. And this is the light blue circle that you see in the middle of this slide. And this is all about what we call data aggregation. And what is data aggregation? It's about collecting the data measured by the things and transferred over those networks, visualizing so that you can understand their value, which is an important step in the next phase, which is about creating the logic using the data collected from those things. The logic being the algorithms which will be the core of the application that will be the value driver of the Internet of Things. And then on top, the light green circle, that's really about us trying to create business value. And business value is about offering the tools to manage processes, to manage the devices, to make sure that we, for example, can organize what is a marketplace so that partners, be it the device builders, application developers, as well as network providers, can offer their services so that we all can together build this IoT market. And one of the things that we will not go into in this presentation, but which is an important element of our strategy is that we can offer this platform under a private label of the partners that we want to include in our business ecosystem. Now for today, what I would like to present to you is what we call the also IoT solution accelerators. And I will present 4 of them to you, but all of them consist of those 3 elements that you see represented in this slide. The first thing is that we have gathered in a box a number of devices, the sensors, as well as the gateway to offer the connectivity or be able to use what we call specific IoT connectivity, which is also known as low power wide area networks, LPWAN. And these are the things that we have physically gathered into one box. The second element is the IoT platform. Again, the IoT platform plays the role of collecting the data measured by the devices, visualize them so that you better understand them, and then bridge into what is the third element, the application. The application, as I said, is the real value driver of the Internet of Things, and we have built some example applications so that you and your customers can discover what is the real value of those newly sourced data. And we have built those solution accelerators under a number of recognizable use cases, and recognizable for a large majority of enterprises. And these are the 4 solution accelerators that we have built and that we have put on offer for you so that you can reach out to your end customers. The first 2 on top, SAFESPACE Plus and Workplace Plus, are all about organizing work and commercial environments. The second row, DOLLY Plus and Asset Tracking, is really all about, as the name says, tracking your valuable assets. Now I will go into every one of those 4 propositions a little bit more in detail. The first one, and it's not a coincidence that on the 19th of May, when offices and shops and commercial spaces start to reopen slowly as we get at the end of this, hopefully the end of this pandemic situation, it's all about making sure that when you open doors again, you can do it in a controlled and safe way. So the first element in terms of devices, we have assembled in the SAFESPACE Plus kit devices that help you to count the people who enter and exit an office or a shop, as well as a CO2 sensor that allows you to measure the air quality in that space. The air quality, as we all have learned to recognize, is very important, and CO2 is a very good element to measure the quality of the air and to make sure that the virus doesn't spread at its chosen pace. The second element is indeed the IoT platform, in which we will collect the data measured by these 2 devices. We will be able to visualize them. And then the third one, which is the application. And in this case, the application is a signage solution, which will enable you to showcase how many people at any moment are present in your shop or in your office, as well as show how healthy the air is into that environment. So it's indeed a tool to organize a safe and healthy environment using these combined IoT technologies. And where can you use them? Well, of course, it's in offices, but it can also be used in shops as well as hospitality services such as hotels and restaurants, but also in public places such as, for example, schools or libraries or exposition centers. And the benefits are quite obviously the fact that you can showcase in real time how many people are present, how healthy the environment is, and also be notified when something goes wrong, when some thresholds have been exceeded. So that's for SAFESPACE Plus. The second one is maybe considered as an extension of SAFESPACE Plus. It's Workplace Plus. And Workplace Plus looks at the work environment from a perspective of what we can call the new normal, whereby we will have a different balance between workers coming to the office and spending time at the office to execute their duties, or working from home. And this will put you in a position where you have to reconsider the way you organize the workplace. And if you want to reorganize your workplace and the spaces that you rent for this purpose, you would like to have actual data of the actual usage of your work environment, the usage of meeting rooms, desks, name it, as well as making sure that you can offer your co-workers and visitors a healthy environment. So we have assembled in the Workplace Plus the devices which will enable you to do exactly that. We have presence devices, presence that can measure presence in rooms as well as at specific desks, as well as the various devices which allow you to measure the environment, be it temperature, be it CO2, be it, for example, sound as well, so that you can have all these data to organize a healthy work environment. Again, the platform plays the role as the destination of the captured data, in which you will be able to visualize it. And we have also included in Workplace Plus a first single-use application which allows you to create a physical or a logical overview of the devices which capture the data based on your actual environment, be it a floor plan or a 3D representation of it. So it allows you to optimize the workspace and hopefully with the result of augmenting the productivity of your co-workers. Where can you use it? Again, it's very much into private offices, but you could also organize it and use it in hospitality buildings, in public buildings, but also in care homes, and for example, as well in greenhouses. The benefits, the most important benefits are most probably that because of the fact that you have data of the actual usage of your workplace, you will be able to optimize the cost and have a better usage of its capacity. On the other hand, based on the data collected by the environmental sensors, you will be able to offer a healthy and thus more productive environment to your visitors as well as your co-workers. And we have on the landing pages of these of this Workplace Plus enabled some return on investment calculators which address those two benefits in exact numbers. The next ones are about tracking your valuable goods. And the first one is what we call the Asset Tracking Plus. An Asset Tracking Plus is consists of a tracking device, which has the benefit of using very little power. It uses 3 AA batteries that can last for anything between 2 to up to 7 years in terms of usage, as well as connectivity to a low power network, which is based on the existing 4G infrastructure, which we call LTE-M and NB-IoT. And that connectivity is provided by a long-time partner of ALTINSTORG, which is Orange, which offers roaming almost across all countries in Europe. Again, the also IoT platform plays its role as the data aggregator, but we have included with asset tracking 2 single-use applications which will really showcase the value of the collected data. One is what we call a geofence service. Geofencing is really about creating a virtual fence which allows you to be alarmed whenever a device enters or exits a fence that you have virtually created on a map. The second thing is the second application is this location history service, which allows you to visualize the whereabouts of that asset that you have equipped with your asset tracking device. So it's really about getting a better understanding of what you consider to be valuable assets for your business. And these businesses can be of all sorts of nature, be it agriculture, be it heavy workers, be it shipment services. Whichever you choose as a business is a valuable asset can be equipped with this tracking device so that you can not only avoid loss or theft of those assets, but also know and be informed about their whereabouts, or also use the data of this historical movements of these assets so that you can think of how you can better organize the storage of that equipment, the shipment of that equipment, etc. So this is very much and something which is very recognizable for quite a number of businesses. And then we have a last proposition that I would like to present, which is not a solution accelerator, but as I would call it, a solution as such. And this DOLLY Plus solution has been developed in close collaboration between an application developer and the Swiss ALSO team. As you know, ALSO is also a very efficient logistics services provider. And one of the ALSO customers in Switzerland came to the team over there asking for a more secure transport of valuable goods. And what they have done is they have developed a specific trolley that was equipped with an electronic lock and a location sensor so that it could organize and be used to organize secure transport of valuable goods. In this case, it was smartphones and notebooks. Again, the ALSO IoT platform has performed its duty as the aggregator of the data. But more importantly, we have a smart and secure application which allows you to track and organize in a very organized manner the shipment of those valuable goods from one point to another. And this is where you can think of and you can easily imagine the benefits of such a smart and secure trolley. It's not only about making sure that you can prevent the theft of the goods during transport, but also to make sure that you can control the access to the content, so that you can do this, and you can do this using electronic keys instead of physical keys and trying to manage this. So it's really about making sure that you can organize that transport in a secure and controlled way, and as well of the fact that you have all the data that you collect from the shipment from A to B. You can use the data to think about how you have organized that shipment process and eventually optimize it using the data collected through that transport and shipment process. The use cases where there are manifold. It's certainly something that you can use to organize in a controlled and secure manner the shipment of smartphones and tablets and other electronic devices of high value. But it can also be used for the other way around. For example, if you have customers who want to organize the return of IT devices such as laptops that contain confidential data. Or you can use it as well as a means to storage in a secure manner electronic material that needs not to be accessed by unauthorized people, and use this not as a transportation means, but as a storage means. And then the Swiss team has also looked into how to use this trolley, which is very flexible in the way it can be used across various sorts of buildings. You can also organize non- or package-free delivery of electronic goods. So in conclusion, I've explained to you what is the ALSO strategy with regards to the Internet of Things, give you a short and quick introduction in what is the IoT platform, but I hope you can remember the 4 solution accelerators which I presented to you: SAFESPACE Plus, Workplace Plus, DOLLY Plus, and Asset Tracking Plus. Should you be interested to reach out to your end customers and know more about this proposition, please do contact your also account manager or the IoT representative in your country, and we will be happy to help you and make sure that you can build this promising business with the IoT proposition shortly. Thank you, and I wish you a good day with the rest of the CTV event.